Hi, folks. This is Dr. Rob Sivas, the carb addiction doc. Obviously, you see me in a video with somebody else today, and this is my lovely wife, Janae. And exclusive to you folks, we have an announcement to make, and we will continue to follow this story as it grows. Janae?
I thought you were going to say it. Hi, everyone. I'm Janae Sivas, obviously Dr. Sivas' wife. And our announcement today is that we are pregnant. I'm about 22 weeks right now, and we are overjoyed. Somewhat surprised, but overjoyed. And we really wanted to get this out to you all first again because we appreciate so much the support that you give us. I think this is an important part of the journey and of the story that Rob always shares with his followers anyway, but especially important the story of carnivore keto diet in pregnancy. Obviously for a variety of scientific reasons, which Rob can get into more. But overall, we just want to share with you that exciting news, and we want to tell you a little bit more about the science behind it and the reasons behind it, in terms of our diet and what we believe that healthy outcomes will be, and certainly we'll share
It's
that.
not a belief, it's knowledge that we have. So there's a distinction between belief and knowledge. Sorry, I had to jump in there, but that's such an important point, and it is a learning experience.
True.
Go ahead.
That's about it, really.
So we are excited about the news, and as you can see, there is an age disparity, and I guess my blonde beard brings out the age disparity tremendously. And we'll take you through as we go through these next series of videos, which we'll also release to the public, but we'll take you through our decision-making process and our journey, how we decided to do what we're doing. We haven't decided a name for the baby yet, and we will take you through each step. Not really because obviously we're proud of our story, but this is not about the personal nature of what we're doing. We believe both that what we're doing is critically important for the health and better well-being of our society as a whole in terms of how we can maybe influence and help other people to do the healthiest that they can with the available science for their own lives, for your own maybe babies or children or partners or families. Now, the nice thing about this is we're really putting everything up front because we have no idea what the outcome is like. We have a hypothesis, and our hypothesis is that the ketogenic diet, an ultra low carbohydrate, high fat diet, is the single best diet for human beings. In fact, our understanding is that's what really helps to define us as human beings and is part of the content of how we became to be the apex animals on this planet, is by being omnicarnivore in our dietary approach. So really, while we're putting our intent in our daily lives where we know and all the evidence supports that that's true, this is ultimately an experiment. This is an experiment in health, well-being. And I think other people, a friend of mine, Ken Berry, hey Ken, we're a little ahead of the curve on you, or you're ahead of the curve on us, but we thank you so much for supporting us in this role, and love what you do, Ken. But Ken also just had a baby a while ago, and I think where we want to take this one step further is not only raising a child in what we believe to be the biologically most effective, healthiest way to raise a baby and create and raise the baby from in utero, from preconception, creating a fertile womb, creating insulin sensitivity, but more importantly, because we are the carb addiction doc and the carb addiction mom, we also equally want to focus on the behavioral aspects of raising that child. Janae is the quintessential authoritative person. She is iconic in terms of how she has been raised and how she approaches her emotion management system. That's about as good as us fallible human beings can get. I'm the guy struggling. I was raised in a highly authoritarian family. It took me a long, long time to recognize that, and slowly I've begun to modify that. That process will only end long after I'm dead. But my struggles with authoritarianism and my conversion to what's called an authoritative family upbringing is as important, I believe, as the biology of feeding and raising this child from a nutritional perspective. So through this journey, we're going to combine how we're feeding our child, but more importantly, how we're imprinting and how we're beginning to raise that child. Now, what does imprinting mean? Final segment of this. You create a mental mindset for a baby before it's born. And that's called imprinting. Some of it, a little bit of imprinting is genetic, but most of it's behavioral. So, for example, if Janae's having a rough day and she's all stressed out, she could go to the fridge and pig out on some ice cream. We don't have ice cream in the fridge, but theoretically, if that was possible, if she did that, then at a biological level, that baby feels those stress hormones, feels those catecholamines, and that adrenaline, that cortisol of being angry and being frustrated. But then, not only that, that baby feels that tension, but then feels the sudden rush of sugar as she pigs out on the ice cream. And very rapidly, what imprinting means is the baby imprints with carbohydrates, with glucose as a dominant emotion management substance, as an emotion management behavior. Because as somebody who pigs out on carbohydrates to manage an emotional situation, that transition from cortisol and adrenaline to the soothing endorphin serotonin activating effect of that sugar, they bond with the sugar as a mechanism to soothe themselves. So they're already primed for carbohydrate addiction before a baby is even born. Now, on the other hand, if Janae has a rough day and she's all angry and she leashes up our dog and she goes for a walk with the dog, well, there's a whole different set of endorphins that come from physical activity. And I can tell you, being on lockdown has not been that easy because Janae travels all over the country with the work that she does. However, on lockdown, our dog is kind of getting angry at us for how often it has to walk. He's saying, dude, leave me alone, let me rest. No, the point is that Janae has been instrumental in using those relaxing endorphin activating walks. So what's happening with our baby is imprinting of a different nature. When she comes off a call of frustration and anger and she's all stressed out with one of her business calls, and we all get stressed out in the work we do, her method of relaxing, her method of endorphin release are the hormones that get released during physical activity. And actually, a slight drop in blood sugar as that continues. And that's imprinting the baby. And hopefully, if this baby imprints with physical activity as a dominant source of emotion management, then hopefully that will become, if we foster that after the baby's born, foster bits of physical activity and play and enjoyment and movement, hopefully that becomes a fundamental paradigm for our child's emotion management foundation. At the same time, you've seen me post pictures of cribbage and us playing cribbage for dessert. And of course, Janae wins all the time, so maybe winning is not such a good thing. Maybe she needs to intentionally lose. But the act of creativity, the act of playing fun games, the act of that human connection. And Janae's also a very spiritual person. She has her meditative moments. Every one of those right now is imprinting on that baby. And in the background of a ketogenic, low-carb, high-fat diet that we do once, maybe twice a day, all of that is putting our money where our mouth is. Well, not really money, but putting in our investment into our baby as to the best way we can possibly invest. Time will tell. Time will tell. Maybe that's a little monster that's brewing in there. But my suspicion is that hopefully it's going to be a pretty decent human being We'll take you on this journey. Thank you so much for your contributions.